At 27 years old, Jake earned $38,000 a year working warehouse shifts in Ohio. 40 hours a week, sometimes overtime, sometimes night shifts. His hands were always sore, his back constantly tight. But his bank account? Empty. Every 2 weeks the paycheck came in, and within days, rent, gas, groceries, car insurance, phone bill, gone. Not broke enough to panic, not stable enough to grow. That's the dangerous zone, because survival feels normal. But there was something worse than the low income. It was the realization that nothing was changing. 3 years in the same warehouse, small raises, more physical strain, zero savings. One night, his truck wouldn't start after shift. Battery dead. He didn't have $220 immediately available without putting it on a credit card. That moment hit harder than any paycheck, because he understood something brutal. He wasn't poor. He was fragile. One emergency away from debt spiral. And fragility is expensive. That night, sitting in the dark parking lot waiting for a jump start, Jake asked himself, if I keep doing exactly what I'm doing, where am I in 5 years? Same job, slightly older, more tired, still under $45,000. That question changed everything. Not because he wanted luxury, because he wanted margin. Margin is power. Margin is choice. Margin is breathing room. Jake didn't hate physical work. He hated financial stagnation. So instead of complaining about the warehouse, he studied the warehouse. Who made more money? Not the hardest workers, not the fastest loaders. The forklift certified operators earned more. The shift supervisors earned more. The maintenance technicians earned more. Same building, different skill, different pay band. That's when it clicked. Income isn't about effort in physical jobs. It's about skill tier. Jake realized he was paid for labor, not for leverage. So he asked the floor manager one simple question. What certification would increase my pay fastest? Answer: Forklift Advanced Certification. Hazard Material Handling Clearance. Basic Logistics Coordination Training. Most guys ignored those. Too much paperwork, too much studying. After 10-hour shifts, nobody wanted classes. But here's the truth about blue-collar income. If you only trade muscle, you cap out. If you add certified skill, you raise the ceiling. Jake enrolled in night certification classes at a local community center. Twice a week, after work, exhausted, but focused. The first 2 weeks were brutal. Body tired, mind foggy. Friends laughed. Why are you studying? It's just a warehouse job. But Jake wasn't studying for the job. He was studying for the tier. 3 months later, he passed advanced forklift certification. Applied internally. New hourly rate increase. $2.75 more per hour. That alone added roughly $5,500 per year, from $38K to around $43.5K. Not life-changing, but direction-changing. Because now he understood something powerful. Skills compound, labor doesn't. But the real shift hadn't happened yet, because this wasn't about $5K, it was about trajectory. That first $2.75 raise wasn't dramatic, but something inside Jake changed. For the first time, effort translated into upward movement. And that creates momentum. Instead of stopping after forklift certification, he asked himself, what's the next tier inside this building? He noticed something. The people coordinating incoming and outgoing freight weren't lifting boxes. They were managing flow, scheduling dock times, tracking shipments, handling vendor communication. Logistics coordinators earned between $55,000 and $65,000. Same warehouse, different skill tier. Jake did something most workers don't. He talked to one of them, asked what qualifications mattered. Answer: inventory software proficiency, basic supply chain knowledge, strong documentation accuracy. None of it required a degree. It required learning. So Jake stacked skills. He learned the warehouse inventory system deeply, asked supervisors to let him shadow paperwork processes, watched how delays happened, studied how misscans caused loss. He didn't complain about overtime anymore. He observed inefficiencies. 6 months later, when a junior logistics position opened, Jake applied. Old salary, $43,500. New offer, $58,000. From $38K, $43.5K, $58K in under 12 months. $20,000 increase. Same building, same company, different tier. And here's the psychological shift. Jake stopped identifying as warehouse labor. He identified as logistics professional in training. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives income. Within another year, he enrolled in a part-time supply chain certificate program. Evenings again, exhausting again, but focused. At 29 years old, Jake landed a logistics operations coordinator role at a regional distribution company. New salary, $67,000 base, performance bonuses possible. From $38K to $67K in roughly 24 months. Nearly 76% income growth. No lottery, no viral moment. Skill stacking. And here's the deeper truth. Physical jobs aren't low-paying by default. Unskilled physical repetition is. Once Jake moved from muscle to systems, his ceiling expanded. Now, instead of living paycheck to paycheck, he was saving $1,500 to $2,000 per month. Emergency fund built in 6 months. 401k contributions started. For the first time in his life, he wasn't fragile. He had margin. And margin creates confidence. Confidence creates negotiation power. Here's the uncomfortable question for you. Are you trading time only? Or are you stacking certifications that move you up a tier? Because blue-collar income growth isn't about working harder, it's about becoming harder to replace. Jake didn't escape labor. He upgraded within it. And that's how the six-figure path begins. If you only sell effort, your income stays linear. If you stack certified skill, your income becomes exponential. Tier changes everything. If you're working hard but still stuck financially, it's not your work ethic, it's your tier. Subscribe to Rich Mind Talk, because we don't shame labor, we upgrade it.